Welcome to the introduction of PHP Form Handling. In this course, we will learn about creating and processing HTML forms. Forms provide a crucial bridge between the user interface and server logic. We will discuss how to handle user data safely and efficiently. You will also learn to create interactive web applications by understanding the concepts of form handling. Let's examine the basic structure of an HTML form. Here's a snippet of code. The form tag acts as a container for all the form elements. It includes attributes like action, which specifies where the form data is sent, and method, such as post, that determines how the data is sent. Inside the form tag, you'll find various input fields. These input fields collect different data formats. In this example, we have a text input for username and email input for email and a submit button to send the data. Now let's compare the two primary form methods, get and post. The get method sends data in the URL parameters, making it visible to users, is generally used for search forms, filters, and public queries. Since the data is visible, it has limited data size. However, get requests can be bookmarked. Post, on the other hand, transmits data in the request body, hidden from the URL, and is more secure than get. Post is capable of handling large amounts of data, making it ideal for login forms, file uploads, and sensitive data submissions. Let us create a basic HTML form. Here is an example of a complete form. It starts with a form tag that specifies the action, as submit to PHP, and the method, as post. Inside the form, there are labels and corresponding input fields for the user's name and email address. The labels are associated with the input fields through the for and ID attributes, respectively. At the end, there is a submit button. In the preview of the form, we can see the fields for name and email and a submit button. Next, let's explore the get superglobal in PHP. This superglobal allows you to access the data sent via the get method in the URL. For instance, consider the URL page.php name equals John&age equals 25. In PHP, you can retrieve the name and age values using $_get square bracket quote name quote and $_get square bracket quote age quote. Always remember to validate and sanitize any data obtained through get before using it in your application. Now let's talk about the post superglobal. The $_post superglobal is used to access data sent via the post method. First, it's important to check if the request method is post using server request method. If it is post, you can then access the username and email using $_post square bracket quote username quote and $_post square bracket quote email quote. The advantages of using post include data being hidden from the URL, larger data capacity, and more secure transmission. It is very important to validate form data. And so let's learn about form data validation. Validation is the process of verifying that the data entered by the user meets specific criteria before processing it. Here is an example of a validation. We create an empty array named errors. Then we check if the name field is empty. If so, we add a message to the errors array. We also validate the email field. Key validation rules include checking for empty fields, validating the email format, verifying the data types, and checking string lengths. Always validate on the server side, even if you have client-side validation in place. Let's delve into sanitizing user input. Sanitization is the process of cleaning user-provided data to prevent security vulnerabilities. Here are some common sanitization functions: trim, HTML special characters, and filter input. Trim removes whitespace from both sides of a string. HTML special chars converts special characters to HTML entities. Filter input sanitizes data with a specified filter. Never trust user input. Always sanitize and validate before processing or storing data. Let's put everything together in a complete form example. In this implementation, we first check if the request method is post. If it is, We proceed to sanitize the name and email inputs using the trim and filter input functions. Next, we validate the data to ensure that the name is not empty and that the email is in a valid format. Finally, if there are no errors, we process the data and display a success message. In order to build a secure and reliable form, remember to check the request method, sanitize user input, validate the data, and process it or show errors accordingly. Let's summarize the best practices for PHP form handling. Always validate your form data on the server side to ensure security. Sanitize user input to clean the data before processing or storing it. Use the post method for sensitive data in form submissions. Provide clear feedback to users by handling errors effectively. By mastering these fundamentals, you'll be well equipped to build secure and reliable web forms with PHP. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.